Everyone should lift weights. Doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man, everyone needs to strength train. Resistance training will keep you in shape, it will burn body fat, and it will just increase your confidence. The last thing you want to be is that scrub that cannot move a gallon of water. His girl asked him to move the couch and he can't even move it. It just amplifies that you're a weak man, that you can't, you're not competent to use your body for strength. And, I used to be that scrub when I was back in middle school. I never really had a training regimen. It wasn't until I got to high school, I started playing varsity baseball, that I started to see the importance of training, because the more weights that I lifted, the more weight that I could actually push. It would help me when I was pitching, when I was batting. I could actually hit, triples. I could hit it to the fence. I could hit home runs. So I started seeing the power of strength training, of actually building muscle. That was the main reason why I started getting into it, so I can be more competitive when I was playing sports. Fast forward, when I got to college, I started training MMA, and I really saw it there, because when you start boxing, the more strength you have, the more power your punches and your strikes have. So even also with jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, you have more grappling strength. So you can really see the strength, the importance of having strength and power when you're in combat sports. So today, gentlemen, we're going to be breaking down why it's highly important to lift weights for strength training, for confidence, so you can feel better, to look more attractive overall. Before I jump into the video, I want to mention that our newsletter is live. You can sign up for it in the link in the description below. And we'll just be delivering powerful insights on confidence, on a day-to-day basis. I'm barely starting up the newsletter, so I'm getting used to using it and actually sending out newsletters. So make sure to sign up for that. It's a work in progress, but I know it's going to get better. And also, if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're currently on the confidence series, so we're on episode 10. These videos are all tailored to maximize confidence. In the future, we're going to be jumping into style, different videos for confidence as well. But this series already has a couple of videos. They're all linked in the description below. You can catch up on any of them if you need to, so you can really see where we're at right now with this video here on strength. So the most important thing when it comes to strength is that you have to have a strength training regimen. You want to be building muscle all the time, at least maintaining the muscle that you do have. So let's go ahead and pull up the whiteboard. Break this down. All right, so breaking down like the definitions, just so we can understand what type of training we're focusing on here, is strength training is just a type of exercise. It's your classic going to the gym, lifting barbells, dumbbells, using machines to build muscle. It's resistance training, so you can build a muscle. Body weight training, on the other hand, this is calisthenics, going to the park, doing some pull-ups, some push-ups, handstand push-ups. These are calisthenic workouts. So I think it's highly important to do both of these. I'm not like one camp is the best. I think that these two are probably the best. There's also powerlifting, but I think if you just want to have a good program, strength training here in the gym works perfectly for that. Going 3 to 4 times a week. And body weight training is very helpful whenever you don't have the convenience of a gym. Right now, like I'm traveling all over South America. Sometimes it's difficult to get inside of a nice quality gym and get a workout. There is gyms, but sometimes they get packed, especially down here, they get extra packed. So whenever you do need a muscle out, a body weight workout, you can always do it. You can do it in your apartment. You can do it at the park. So having both of these skill sets is just helpful, so you can always get the workout in and not make excuses. There's a great quote that I like by Thomas Jefferson, where he says that a strong body makes the mind strong. And one thing that you'll notice about lifting weights is that it correlates with a lot of different things in life. And the mindset that you get from lifting weights, you can apply those same values to anything, to leveling up your career, being more successful with the ladies, if you want to increase your game. If you just want to have a more stoic mindset, lifting weights will definitely help you develop that, because through the process of lifting weights, you learn a lot of different skills like the discipline of hitting the gym on a consistent basis, consistency, motivation. There's gonna be times that you don't want to work out, but you gotta get it done, especially if you have a goal. So all of these things are just helping you in every aspect of life. So when I think about bodybuilding, strength training, I always think of Arnold. I think Arnold is, the epitome of a strong man. And he has a great video here that I really like, where he describes the power of strength training. So let's go ahead and
you train, it is not just that your body gets pumped up and gets stimulated with blood, but it's also your mind. And you have a much more positive kind of outlook on the day and on life when you have already had a pump behind you, or a bicycle ride, or a run, or a tennis match, or whatever sport you do. You got to get this out of the way, because then you feel good for the rest of the day. Everything is kind of like looking through a dark glasses versus looking through a regular glasses. It's like everything looks brighter.
So, like Arnold here is mentioning, you get a really good pump. You just feel better about yourself. It boosts your energy levels. We made a video about this a couple of days ago about dopamine control and how dopamine is highly important for your confidence, because if you don't control your dopamine, you're going to feel like shit, man. If you're constantly scrolling through social media, you're getting cheap sources of dopamine, pornography, junk food, you're always going to be feeling like shit, because your hormones are highly important for your well-being. So the power of strength training is that when you lift weights, when you go for a run, when you have this active lifestyle, you're releasing a lot of positive, rich sources of dopamine, positive endorphins, all these hormones that just make you feel better, serotonin, oxytocin. So you're always just at peak levels with your hormones and your energy levels. So that is highly powerful after getting a strong workout. So like we mentioned, it just supports everything else. Your mind, you're going to build a stronger mind because of the discipline of going to the gym, the different values that come from hitting the gym. Like right now, look, man, I'm not the most shredded guy. I'm pretty strong, but right now, one of my personal goals is to burn more body fat. And I'm actually considering getting a personal coach to help me do that, because I need some accountability, man. I feel pretty strong. Let me stop sharing my screen. I'll show you guys. So I feel pretty strong. I have power, especially when it comes to like boxing and, combat sports, but I know that I need to shred a little bit, right? Like being down here, South America, bro, so much good food. I've been enjoying the plantains, los lomos, steaks, ice cream, man. It's a lot of good food, man. And pimps, players fuck up too, bro. There's always gonna be times where you might slip up on your diet a little bit. But that's one thing that I'm noticing, is that I always hit the gym. I make sure to stay consistent. I always go for runs. I always lift weights. But I do notice that sometimes I slack on my diet, and I need to really tighten that up. That's why I'm considering getting a personal trainer. Shout out to my boy Elliot. He's a great guy that's part of my network, and I'm actually considering strength training with him, and just making sure that I have that accountability to really dial in. But wherever you find yourself in, man, like I mentioned, when I was back in middle school, I didn't have any training regimen, so I was in the dark. I didn't really understand this. I didn't really understand what were macros. I didn't really understand what was lifting weights. I didn't really understand fighting. I didn't really have a strength training program. A lot of it was a lack of direction. My parents really didn't. My dad never really forced us to get into a training program where we're hitting the gym and lifting heavy weights. It wasn't until I got to high school, my varsity coaches were like, man, you need to start stacking on some muscle, because you have, I was really good at baseball, but I was lacking the strength, the power. And then when I started lifting, man, you get the newbie gains. I started actually building muscle mass. I was still a little chubby at the time, but I was actually gaining muscle mass, and it was I could really see it in my performance when I was playing baseball. So wherever you are, like, don't worry about it. Just get started. Actually have a strength training program that you adhere to on a consistent basis. I think for me, the best workout split is 3 to 4 times a week where I'm lifting heavy weights. I like to lift upper body, let's say on Monday, and then I do lower body on Wednesday, and then I do upper body again on Friday. That's usually like the best range for me. And then on Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday, I go for a run. So I just, I run like 4 to 5 miles, and I usually just do that because of the conditioning and the stamina that comes from boxing. When I was doing MMA, that was something that my coach used to drill into us a lot. It was like, you have to get condition is the most important thing, because if you can't last fighting, you're going to be done in 1 minute. You're going to get gassed out. And a lot of guys out here, like average guys that can't fight or they don't know how to box, a lot of them just get gassed out. So, biggest reason for that is because they don't have any conditioning. They don't work on their cardio. And also cardio is just very helpful for your heart. It keeps a strong heart. It's very helpful for your breathing. You're always regulating that breathing, and breathing controls your stress and your cortisol levels. So I would recommend to have a split of strength training and cardio. You don't want to just do one. You see these guys at the gym that are just like extra puffy, and that they don't do cardio. All they do is lift weights. And a lot of these guys end up having a lot of heart issues in the future, especially if they're on something like steroids or testosterone or all these different things. Like, I'm completely natural, bro. And I'm proud to say that I'm natural, even though I don't look like all these, shredded guys on Instagram. Like, I feel good. My body feels good. I can perform, I can fight. I always perform at high levels in my job, my career. So, I feel good. So you don't need anything extra. You just need to hit the gym and just do the basics well. Be consistent and disciplined on that. So another thing is, when it comes to attraction, share my screen here. When it comes to attraction, when you start getting in shape, you'll quickly notice that you become a lot more sexually attracted to women. This is probably the fastest way that you can become genuinely attractive to women. I think the fastest probably like just making sure that you're grooming, you have your hygiene on point, you're dressing well. I think that's probably the fastest to increase that attractiveness. But the one that really dramatically changes the whole game is getting into shape. When I was dialed in, bro, like I was in there was a time that I was in Mexico last year, and I was fucking dialed in, man. I was like training every day. It was like a monk mode. I don't recommend monk mode for more than like 3 months, but I was in that monk mode for like 6 months. And I was training every day, bro. And then like I started just seeing the reactions that I was getting from girls on Instagram, bro. Like, I would post like my workout on my story, and a lot of girls were like liking it, hitting me up. And it was because I was getting very lean. If I have a couple videos, if you go on my channel, you can see some of those. But let me share my Instagram instead, so I can show you when I started training. Yeah, so guys, this is my Instagram. Make sure to follow your boy. This is where I put all my video content, everything that I'm doing right now that I'm out here in Colombia. But if we scroll to the very bottom, this is when I barely started training. Like MMA, I was like 23, 24. And like training has always just been a part of my life, man. I was training for a jiu-jitsu tournament here with my boy Juan, and I was just focusing on staying lean, getting strong. I was working on my abs here just to make sure that I was getting ready for that fight. Had a lot of hair here. But yeah, so like training has always just been a big part of my life, man. I've always been training. And like I mentioned, bro, like there's been times that I've been really dialed in where I've gone to like 10 to 12% body fat. But for the most part, I'm usually like right now, I'm like at 15, 16% body fat. And honestly, bro, I need to cut down. That's why I really want to get a personal trainer and really lock in. But, like it's always been a part of my life, man. Like I never stopped training, even though, whatever happened, if I was in the States, if I was traveling, Like I was always training. I was always doing jiu-jitsu competitions. I was always doing MMA competitions, burners, sparring. This has always been a big part. And like one thing I noticed is that when I really started locking in, like a lot of girls were more attracted to it because a lot of my outfits just fit better, clothing fit better, and I just felt more attractive. It increased my confidence dramatically, and a lot of it was because of training, man. Like it completely changes the game for you because everything, your clothing fits well, you feel more confident, your energy increases, you have just more drive, and women can really pick that up. So strength training is powerful if you for attraction to level that up. If that's something that you struggle with, just hit the gym hard, really dial in 3 to 4 times a week. Make sure that your diet's on point. We're gonna make a video really shortly here in the future on diet and what's how to have a pretty healthy diet, especially like right now I'm traveling. So it's for me, it's a big priority because it's very easy to mess up out here, man. Like like I said, there's a lot of good food, and you want to make sure that you're not eating out too much, that you're eating in, and you're actually getting your protein in, so you can make sure that you're maintaining or you're growing your muscle mass. So, yeah, gentlemen, let me share this tab. So for attraction, man, like there's been a lot of studies that have shown that women are more attracted to guys that have a slimmer waist and a broader upper body. So focusing on your shoulders, on your traps, on your upper chest, on your back, developing like that V taper is what makes you more attractive. So also the qualities that you get from hitting the gym, like we mentioned, like the consistency, the discipline. If you show this off, girls are attracted to it. Like this guy he's a man on a mission, he's a man on a purpose, and girls highly pick up on that. Also, you're just promoting a healthy lifestyle. So, we're very visual. Like if you show that you're a healthy person, like girls just want to instinctually want to be with you because all right, we can have healthy, sexy babies. So being healthy is just a game changer, and it should be a top priority. I would say this is probably one of the most important attributes when it comes to confidence is actually hitting the gym, getting strong, and developing that muscle mass. And we tie that back to confidence, like I mentioned, it just levels up every single aspect. It makes you more attractive. It makes you more money because you start having more positive energy. You start releasing all those positive endorphins, so you just have more productivity and drive throughout your day. It increases your self-image, your respect amongst other people. You garner more respect when you're stronger, when you're in shape. So that just opens up the opportunity for more advancements in your career. It develops a stronger mindset because you're developing those values of consistency, discipline, keeps you locked in and focused. Because if you have a strength training regimen, you're locked in, man. Like you want to stay focused and you want to keep building that muscle. And yeah, man, like it's strength training is powerful. This is one of the things that we have to constantly do as men, everyone in general. But a lot of my content is it's mostly tailored for men. Occasionally we get a couple women that see my content, but this is mostly tailored for men. That's why I really dial in to personal development for men because this is what I live, this is what I see. And when I'm hanging out with all my boys, like strength is admirable, man. Like you have strength, it shows that you're competent, you just garner more respect overall. So there you have, gentlemen. It's highly important to have that strength training regimen. Don't believe the media, social media, anything trying to tell you that it's not important. You have to be a strong man. You always want to have that strength training regimen. Shout out to all my mentors, man. MLD, Elliot Holst. This is something that I really learned from Elliot Holst. He was he's like he's a badass, man, when it comes to strength training and just being like a strength coach. And this was like one of his top priorities. This is something that he really drilled into my mindset to always lift weights. So it's highly important. Don't listen to people that tell you otherwise. You always want to have a strength training program because if you think about it, there's there's no net negative to it. You just get stronger, you become more attractive, you boost your energy levels, and you make more money through that process. So this is a complete game changer for confidence. It will completely, dramatically elevate your confidence if you follow a pretty good strength training program. And one thing I'll mention is, like, man, there's a lot of strength training programs out there. One of the easiest ones that you can follow, it's one of the classics, is Strong Lifts 5x5. That's it shows you all the compound movements, like your deadlifts, barbell rows, squats, bench press. Those are great compound movements that focus on all like various muscles at one time. So you can start with that, and then from there, you can find something that is more tailored for you, what you want to do. But that's a great free program that you can follow. You can download the app and start following today. So there you have it, gentlemen. If you made it this far into the video, make sure to give us a like. I really appreciate everyone being here. Videos are going to keep getting better. We're going to keep diving into confidence. We're going to go into style. We're going to wrap up these videos shortly. Got a couple more on the queue. But like I said, I highly appreciate everyone being here. I'll catch you all in the next video. Stay strong. Saludos desde Ecuador. Keep on conquering. You got this. Peace.